This is it. Dresses by Ella.
I pick you to be my princess.
What about my work? I don't want a life stuck waving from a royal box any more than a life confined to a basement. Life outside this basement starts right now.
The world's half asleep. It's gonna wake up and sing.
Well, first of all, I wanted to know because we have seen so many fairy godmothers through the years in different Cinderella versions, but this one is completely unique. And I wanted you to tell me about this complete, different reinvention of the fairy godmother.
Well, the reinvention came out of our brilliant director and adapter Kay Cannon. She reimagined this tale, and she went right for the jugular in terms of really hitting head on all of the problematic tropes and things that happen inside of what we call classics, what we call traditional fairy tales. And one of the first things she wanted to do was to reinvent the fairy godmother and make the fairy godmother a man. That was the first thing. And then she chose me. The last few years for me, Billy, in my career have been quite explosive. And a lot of that is about my intentionality behind how I present, how I use fashion as activism. It's intentional. And so to infuse that same energy inside of this idea of a fairy godmother, magic is what the fairy godmother is. Magic is love, and magic has no gender.
I wanted to know if you work in collaboration with the costume or art direction department. What was the inspiration to create it, and how did it work?
Yeah, Ellen Mirajnik is an amazing costume designer, and we had, multiple conversations about how to embrace both the masculine and the feminine. Yeah. What is the line? What is the, how do we balance it? Even down to a moment, where when I got there was a headpiece moment, a hair piece moment that in the, right before we started shooting, we cut because it tipped it into too much of a feminine space. And when I wore my own hair, it balanced it again.
For everyone who haven't seen it yet, what do you think what makes this version so special and so different than others?
Well, it's empowering. First and foremost, I feel like it's empowering to women, which is the problematic nature of fairy tales in general to me. There's this trope in the narrative of fairy tales that women can't make it without a man, without a Prince Charming of some sort. We smashed that. Kay Cannon has smashed that. Ella is a businesswoman. She is a businesswoman. She is an entrepreneur. And we lean into that. We lean into the necessity to have women in those positions and have young people see women in those positions where they have their own agency, where they don't need a man for validation.
I would definitely choose you as my fairy godmother if I had to, choose one. So I was wondering if who would you choose as a fairy godmother? I mean, you need someone for an event, and I don't know, you're in an emergency, you need a fairy godmother. Who would be your go-to person?
Today, I'll say Whitney Houston, because my 14-year-old self, who wanted to be the male Whitney Houston, is over here doing backflips Because I'm playing the Whitney Houston part, y'all. You know, so she's my fairy godmother.
Completely. I would, yeah, and someone from that didn't play a fairy godmother. I mean, a fashion icon of some sort, fictional or real.
It would be Oprah.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Oprah
I agree
Winfrey.
with
She has been my fairy godmother unknowingly for my whole life. So,
what could never be missing in your outfits? What are your glass shoes?
well, I would say the shoes because I like a platform pump. I like to be taller. And also the train. Daddy likes a train.
Okay, I love it. I love
I've
it.
learned I like to trail. I like things that trail behind me and
Great.
waft as I walk. I like that.